Hey, Fright Nights, just to warn you, the cat is out and he is a little crazy, so we might be...
Look into these
interrupted.
eyes. You will see craziness. All right, Kitty, go ahead.
All right.
You leave that cord alone.
To leave that... God damn it.
Get the squirt gun.
God damn it. Get the squirt gun.
We love this cat, but he
Yeah.
is a little bit of a menace right now.
Can't play with that cord.
He really wants to go outside, but it's like pitch dark right now.
Yeah,
and
it's like 4 a.m.
Yeah, and there's raccoons out. We saw some when we were out for a walk, so we can't let him out. We don't want
Not
him.
out the front. You let out in the back, but it's too late.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah. Especially since like we heard some scurrying in the backyard.
Oh, God, yeah.
So,
and speaking of scurrying, we saw Stung.
Stung. Oh man, I was really looking forward to this movie.
Yeah. It was.
So Stung is I believe it's an independent horror film. I believe it was IFC who released it. So straight up IFC independent film channel released it. It is for lack of a better way of putting it, it's like a mixture of 80s style and 60s style monster movies.
Yeah. It is a straight up creature feature.
Yes.
And it is
basically
in the vein of Black Sheep.
Yes. Black Sheep. Another one that reminded me of, if anyone remembers the 90s film Mosquito, it's very much in that vein too.
Yeah, it's a lot like Mosquito.
But
it's way better.
It's better acted.
Yeah, it's just better all around.
And better shot. Like, this movie is a really gorgeous looking movie.
Yeah.
And it's about a party of rich people in, I think, the South?
No. They're in New England.
Oh, they're in New England. Okay,
Yeah.
That makes sense. The house now makes sense.
Yeah. Because the joke of the movie is that a nest of wasps invades a nest of white Anglo-Saxon Protestants.
So, a nest of rich wasps.
Yeah, and one of them is played by Lance Henriksen,
who plays the mayor of the town who's come to visit the party. Because was it like a tribute to someone dying or something?
Yeah. It was like a tribute to like his old like benefactor.
Oh yeah. Who was like the king of the house who died, and so the mom and the son are putting a party in his honor, and the mayor's there, and a whole bunch of like family members and other rich people are there, and our main characters are these two party hosts who
they're caterers.
They're caterers, and they host parties, and there is the guy Paul, who is basically this kind of stoner slacker character, but with a heart of gold.
Yeah.
And then you got the girl who is just inherited her father's business because her father passed away.
Yeah.
And she's unsure of whether or not she can handle, the what do you call it? The pressure of the job.
Yeah, the pressure of success, pressure of the job.
Living up to her father's, legacy.
Yeah, and the stoner, his big positive is the fact that he is amazing in a crisis.
Yeah. He's a bit of a slacker in his real life, but when shit goes down, he doesn't think, he just acts.
Yeah.
And oftentimes that is the best way to handle a situation. Don't think, just get out the door,
Yeah.
And he does that well. Or don't think, just wrap up that wound,
Yeah, just wrap up the wound, just hit it with a shovel.
We can deal with calling the ambulance when the wound stops bleeding, because
yeah, he's actually very able to prioritize in a crisis.
Absolutely. And basically they set up the party. Someone gets stung by a mysterious wasp, and turns into
a wasp.
It grows out of their body like a Cronenberg or like 80s Carpenter film.
Yeah.
It's very much like The Thing or The Fly or...
Yeah, and some people who get stung turn immediately. Some it takes like an hour.
Yeah. I think it was depending upon like basically where you got stung. Like the person who got stung in the face like immediately turned.
Yeah.
But like some of the other people, like one guy got stung in his hump and it took a while for
there's a humpback character.
The kid who is the son of the guy who died, I think his name was like Sydney or something.
Yeah,
but they called him Quasimodo, so that's what stuck with me. Because he's got this hump, and he's kind of like this Weasley guy with glasses who knows a lot about fertilizers and and beer.
Yeah,
and
because his dad was in pharmaceuticals.
Yes.
Which becomes a plot point.
Yes. And people start turning. A swarm of wasps takes over the town, just starts straight up like killing people. Giant wasps grow out of people and start eating the rest of the people that aren't turned.
Yeah.
The main characters with Lance Henriksen and like the family and like the I think it was she like the nanny of the house?
She's like the maid.
The maid. Okay, and the maid run inside the house and barricade it while everyone's fucking dying outside. There's like a point where a character who was like the the musician of the party.
Yeah.
who the main character, Paul, one of the main characters, Paul, smoked some weed with.
Yeah, he kind of bonds with
him. And the guy's like banging on the window, like, let me in. I wasn't stung. Just let me in. And Paul wants to let him in, but like the Weasley Quasimodo looking guy is like, no, we can't let him in. He might have been stung. It's too dangerous. And so naturally the guy gets fucking attacked by like 3 wasps at once.
Yeah, he is like slaughtered.
Yeah.
You know,
it's one of the few moments where a gore scene happens off screen though. There are other ones where it's entirely on screen.
Yeah. This is a movie where if it's a gory scene, it's meant to be funny.
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, which is why when the musician is killed, it's off screen because that's a serious.
Yeah. That is a dark moment. That is a moment where the heroes are like, "What the hell? We could have saved him." You know.
Yeah.
You know, and that's when you realize who's the good guys and bad guys among the heroes.
Yeah,
you know?
and now here is the thing. That does not really spoil the movie because this movie goes in some weird directions.
Yes, which I'm almost hesitant in going into just because I think you should all fucking see this. Yeah,
Stung is great.
It's just as good in terms of wacky creatureness as Zombievers. The big difference between this and Zombievers is that if the characters being really unlikable and Zombievers bothered you, then this movie is the movie for you because in this movie, they are exceptionally likable.
Yeah.
Even Lance Henriksen as the mayor, who you first think, is he just going to be the crotchety mayor who's a jerk? No, he actually gets a pretty badass moment in the movie.
Yeah. He's great. You know, Lance Henriksen, he turns into like, you know, that old crotchety wasp that hates all the other white eggs.
And he bonds with the young people.
Rich people, I fucking hate you.
He likes the young people in there, and he likes that like the Paul character, like he's like, oh man, you did really great under that crisis. Like I'm impressed. You know, like I wasn't so great back when I was in the war, and talking about the Korean War.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. So you get his whole backstory as like Paul and Lance Henriksen bond.
Yeah. It's really great. While this is all happening, like the 2 main characters are obviously like in a love-hate relationship with one another, and it's ultimately going to culminate in them getting together. You know, that's not spoiling too much because you could telegraph that from the opening scene.
Yeah. Just from the word go, that's obvious. The thing you mentioned Zombievers. I feel it's important to point out we liked Zombievers.
Yes.
But I will say this. Stung is all around a better movie.
Oh, absolutely. Which is ironic, because Stung, you could say, is more of a B movie. Actually, they're wasps, not bees. They make a point of saying that.
Yeah, they say that several times. But the movie does open with bee rape.
It does.
Like flat out bee rape.
There's like a little bumblebee like flying on the screen, and then like one of the wasps like flies in and just fucking butt rapes it with its stinger, and you're like, whoa.
Yeah, just so we can establish that when the wasps sting you, you turn into a wasp. That's how they establish that. That's the opening shot.
And the scenes where they sting people actually reminded me a whole lot of like Mosquito, when the mosquitoes would like stick their like their noses into people and just suck them dry. But in this case, they would implant something that would grow out from them.
Yeah. A detail in the movie as far as the effect, almost all the big wasp effects are practical.
Yeah,
there's a combination of practical and CGI.
There are certain scenes where they're like flying around where they needed to use CG. It's not like Marvel movie levels of CG, but it's certainly better than like Asylum Pictures or Sharknado and stuff like that. Way better than that. Way better than other monster movies like Mimic, you know.
It's way better than Mimic.
Yeah, absolutely. About on
Guillermo, we know that wasn't your fault. Okay.
Yeah, we totally know. But like Mimic, one of the big contentions I've had with Mimic is that like the practical and CG do not blend very well in that movie. But in this movie, they actually blend pretty well.
Yeah, they do. You can tell only because with the CG, they have a bigger range of motion, but as the wasps themselves get bigger, they rely more and more on the practical. So when they're fighting big wasps, it's actually like an animatronic, a guy in a suit.
There's a really awesome scene where like 2 characters are trying to move throughout the house, but they've turned the house into like a giant nest, and there's like a hole in the wall that they want to climb through and get into the other room, but there's a wasp in it that's like tearing shit down and like building like some sort of fort thing, and you're like watching like this shot, and they're basically like us right here, and the wasps in the background, like through the wall, and it is entirely a practical wasp, like moving about and like touching things and all that stuff. And
it's creepy shit.
Yeah, it is really great. It's a really great tense moment. It's one of those moments where like the character is like about to sneeze and they're like holding each other's faces and like holding each other's hands, like oh no, don't shh, gotta be quiet. You know? One of those classic monster movie moments, but done like really well.
Yeah, I was really impressed that they went the primarily practical route.
Yeah.
You know, like I said, particularly, you know, for the big wasp, for the little wasp, or rather, when I say little, they're like that big.
Yeah.
You know, for the ones that are smaller than human sized, those tend to be CG because they're flying around and like there are a few times when we get like zooming wasp vision kind of thing.
And this movie is a movie where much like Zombievers, you're supposed to laugh at certain things.
Yes, absolutely.
You're supposed to feel tense at certain things. You're supposed to care about the characters, but there are moments where you are supposed to laugh. There's a big joke at the end that we're not going to spoil.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is another, like Zombievers, this is another movie that goes in a direction you do not expect with the monster.
Absolutely.
You know, because in Zombievers, you're like, Zombievers?
Yeah.
What the fuck? Stung does something very similar, and it does just keep escalating in weirdness.
It is fantastic. It is great. It's weird. It's like you have like two different types of monster movies being made today. You have like the cheap, intentionally bad to be funny movies like the Asylum Pictures.
Yeah, like Sharknado.
Like Sharknado.
The really successful ones are like Sharknado and Big Ass Spider.
Big Ass Spider. There's one coming out called Lavalantula. And then you have movies like Zombievers and this, which are actually like, let's take this really cheesy B movie idea and do it exceptionally well.
Yeah. Do it as well as we
which
can.
I'd actually put Big Ass Spider more in that category because they tried really hard to make that above and beyond like a Sharknado.
But in Big Ass Spider, it's specifically the director and the script that worked really well.
But the CG still very much looks like one of those movies.
Balls, but like that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
With Stung, the effects are really good.
Yeah. There are times where it feels like you're watching like a long lost 80s movie with some of the effects. You know, it obviously breaks a little bit when some of the CG comes in, but the CG didn't bother me in this movie.
No, absolutely not. Like you're aware of it, but it is not bothersome in
and it was used really well. Like there's scenes where the monster has to fly and stuff like that, and I can understand that would be a hard effect to pull off.
Yeah.
You know, I remember. Here's a good example. Mosquito had practical flying mosquitoes in certain scenes, and they are goofy as fuck when you watch that movie. Because the mosquitoes look great, but you have them flying around and coming at someone. All of a sudden,
it doesn't look right.
It becomes hilarious.
Yeah. That's a point where CG actually works in your favor because then you can at least animate the creature and make it move the way you want, as opposed to being limited to the animatronic.
If it's gonna look fake anyway, you might as well make it look the best fake you can.
Yeah, exactly.
You know.
Yeah, exactly. And this movie definitely does that. One of the details is because the wasps erupt out of people, and they want you to know that specific wasps are returning
because certain personalities like stick with the wasps.
Yeah,
like members of the family member, when they die, like they still relate to each other as if they're the same members.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, so that wasp to wasp metaphor like just continues. It just gets more, they just do it more and more and more.
Absolutely.
And the way you can tell which wasp is which immediately visually is that body parts of the person they erupted from are still attached to them.
You know, so you'll have like some wasps where like half of the face is like the face of the person, like still like hanging off
still
of
like hanging on there.
Like a ring on someone's arm is still on one of the legs. You know, it's It was a really nice touch because you're like, because you were wondering, it's like, oh, I wonder which wasp this one is, and you're like, oh, that's the maid wasp. Oh, Oh, that's the
that's that guy wasp. That's her.
Yeah,
okay,
absolutely.
That's why she's after that character.
Which meant when some of the bad characters start turning, like when you had the final confrontations with the heroes and the bad characters, it's like an extension of their already established like feuds.
Yeah, feuds and personalities and what makes them nasty.
Absolutely.
You know,
it very much goes like in the crazy directions that something like Zombievers or Black Sheep, which is another one of these kinds of movies, goes. Without spoiling too much, like that. If you like those movies, if you like those two movies, you gotta watch this.
Yeah, absolutely, you got to. Also, I recommend watching this because one of the things I kept thinking of is longtime pen and paper role-playing game fans will remember the game Shadowrun. And one of the big monsters in Shadowrun were these things called the insect spirits.
Ooh.
And the way the insect spirits worked, unlike normal spirits, they had to inhabit a body and then take it over. So you get these man insects, but they were still essentially bugs. And so if they were ants, you had all these worker ants, but they were made out of they're mutated.
That is awesome.
Because they were supposed to resemble Cronenberg's Fly.
Ooh.
That was the idea.
Nice.
And so they just kept doing that. This movie does that same kind of body horror as I described with the body parts hanging up, that same body horror insect thing. So if you're like, hey, I like Shadowrun, I love shooting some insect spirits, you should watch Wasp, because there are a lot of great visuals of just people turning into wasps and fucking their body parts being part of the creature itself. They don't go too terribly far with that, but you kind of don't have to. Just seeing a wasp with half a person's face is kind of enough.
Absolutely. I firmly believe the people who made this movie need to make a remake of them.
Oh God, yeah. I would totally watch a remake of them done by these people.
Absolutely. It would be phenomenal. God, I don't know what else more to say without going directly into spoilers. So, anything else you want to say, or?
No, I think, do you want to head into spoiler territory?
Sure, we can do that. All right. From this point on, we are going directly into spoilers. If you are already sold on this movie, stop now. Watch it after you watch the movie. It's available on Amazon Instant, and you could probably, I don't know if it's on Blu-ray or DVD yet, but if it is, get it. It's worth it.
Yeah, absolutely worth it. Thumbs up.
Yeah, fuck yeah. Okay, so Quasimodo guy. It turns out that his dad. Oh no! It turns out that he was. What was he? Was he making hemp? What was he making?
He was making something. His father made an illegal growth hormone.
Yeah,
but still had the serum lying around the house.
So he used it on fertilizer for the plants.
Yeah, because his mom.
Oh, that's right. They have an aviary.
Yeah, they have a greenhouse, and his mom is a gardener, and she didn't want to use anything with too many chemicals in it.
Also because she has a dog that runs around, doesn't want the dog to get hurt or whatever. So he uses the fertilizer on that greenhouse. You're right. A greenhouse, not an aviary. Aviary is birds. I'm stupid. And the growth hormone helps the plants get nice and big or whatever, but it mutates the insects, specifically the wasp, because there's a wasp nest that lives underneath the property.
Yep. Yeah, because they're the kind of wasps that burrow into the ground.
So when the attack's happening, the character's looking around, and you can kind of get the feeling that he knows what's going on.
He has an idea something's about to happen.
Yeah. And over the course of the movie, he gets stung at some point, and you don't know when, but this wasp grows out of his hunchback.
Yeah.
And basically takes over his mind. So he's a man of two minds and starts talking. The wasp starts talking through him, and he starts talking with the wasp moving with his mannerisms.
Yeah. And this is a reflection of the fact that he is very, very much domineered and controlled by his mother.
Yes, and his mom turns into basically a wasp queen.
Yeah, she turns into the wasp queen.
I have no idea if wasps actually have queens. I don't fucking care.
Yeah. I believe like bees, they do have queens.
Okay.
But of course, the difference is that wasps don't make honey, and they're much more aggressive.
Yeah, very aggressive. Yeah. They make a point that they'll follow you for miles, which becomes an important point later on.
Yeah, and I freaked out. Because there's a scene in this movie where the hunchback guy is talking to his mother wasp, and the wasp starts talking to him.
Yeah, in wasp language, it kind of reminded me a little bit of Mimic when they talk.
Yeah. Except there are actual words mixed into all of that.
Yeah, and you're wait,
listen to your mother.
Did I hear words? Oh my god! If I make a MILFs too, she's totally going on.
Yeah.
And commence the dick screaming.
Yeah. Oh man.
The wasp queen chooses Paul as the host of her new daddy.
Yeah, the drone.
Yeah, who's supposed to be like her husband. So he like she chooses him, and
that's apparently a different process.
Yeah. Apparently involves putting a gigantic larva somewhere in that guy's body. I don't know if he was supposed to go through the mouth or if they're just going to drill into him. I don't know why.
No idea.
But that looked disgusting.
Yeah. There is a weird moment, though, where he runs around with the larva for a bit.
Yeah.
Because he's got a knife. He's threatening to kill it.
There's straight up one of those, like, get away from her, you bitch moments. And, like, one of those confrontations between the Paul and the girl and I think her name's Julia.
Yeah, Julia.
Paul and Julia, where they're in the wasp's nest, and they got the larva, and it's like, we don't hurt the larva, and like the queen's like, no, I can't confront them or whatever. Just like that scene with Newt and her and Ripley flamethrowing
opens up
all the eggs. It's very much obvious inspired by that scene, and it is a great homage.
Yeah, not the least bit of which is that it's also a scene with the Lance Henriksen somewhere.
Yes, Lance Henriksen, who, as per usual, besides the...
Hey, everybody. Just wanted to let y'all know that we're geniuses because the camera stopped recording in the middle of the vlog. So, this is bottom line this shit. Go see Stung. It's really fucking good. Hey, everybody. Watch another episode. One of those three over there. Yep.